All right. So on Thursdays, I've been reading from Brendan Bouchard's Motivation Manifesto, this one section that I think is so important for all of us that talks about the different hats that we wear in our lives. And I've read about being the observer and about being the director. And today it's about being the guardian. So I know I've been doing these on Thursdays, but since I didn't do Thursday and I can't do this coming Thursday, we're going to do it today. Finding yourself on the mat, on your back. I want you to bring your feet all the way out to the sides and let your knees fall into one another. Your arms can be out straight or elbows bent so that you start to open up the chest. And all I want you to do is just be right here. You can listen to me or not listen to me. I want you to start to feel the rise and fall of your chest. Let your day just wash away with each breath. Maybe on the exhales, just thinking and imagining and believing that you are releasing tension, releasing anything that isn't serving you. So just take this prone meditation space for the next 2 minutes as I share. The third role deserving our attention is that of guardian to our mind, body, and soul. We must stand at the gates of our life and protect ourselves from unwanted contaminants, negative information, people, and habits. Often we fail in this role. We set such useless information, tripe, and stupidity into our minds. We dumbly consume words and images and sounds from salacious sources that masquerade their alerts and offers as somehow relevant to our lives. This is the news media that pretends some ignorant and extremist view might enlighten us. The network that says the reality of a few entitled brats being filmed without filter might entertain us. That web page that cons us into thinking we were miserable without their product. From all this, we don't grow wiser, but less informed. Not entertained, but numbed. Not wealthier, but poorer. Everything we consume becomes part of us. And as my mother used to say, garbage in and garbage out. All of the useless factoids and scandals do nothing but take root in our psyche and emerge as stupidity and drama later on. Seeing people being petty on television a million times makes us pettier. As a guardian of our mind, we mustn't allow the trite and negative to enter. We should be conscious of the information entering our minds. If we set out to learn something, let it be purposeful. Seek to feed our brain with positive, empowering information that moves our lives forward. Take a deep breath here. And exhale, let it go. Good. We must also be guardians of our bodies. The plight of those in abundance cultures brimming with fake food is that convenience thwarts common sense. Rather than choosing food that is real, whole, and good for us, we choose what is fast and sweet. As a society, we have become not guardians, but gorgers, stuffing and poisoning ourselves mindlessly, toxifying the very structure that houses our heart and soul. Most people feel guilty for destroying someone else's property, yet they wreck their very temple. Take a deep breath in and exhale, let it go. It is time to protect our health by paying more attention to what we are putting in our mouths. There is no lack of information on how to choose a healthier diet or to live a healthier lifestyle. Eat smaller portions. Make a plate of whole foods and greens. Limit consumption of processed foods. And exercise several times a week to maintain that strong, healthy body. Drink more water. Get more sleep. What is required is a new commitment to care for our bodies. Yeah. Let us be equally vigilant in evaluating the people we let into our lives. Are we allowing tyrants who are negative people poisoning our potential? Why are they in our space? Are we surrounding ourselves with whiners and haters? To one and all, they must go. It is up to us to be fierce guardians of our happiness and humanity in life. This requires communication, to tell others to leave, to adjust an attitude, to be kinder, to be more supportive. We must protect ourselves. By the same token, we must surround ourselves with positive, kind, and inspiring people. We can choose to call to them from the gates of our lives, inviting them into the circle of our homes, asking them to share their insights and to live with us. Be the guardian of your life. On the next breath, just open your knees nice and wide and let your legs just fall to the left and then look to the right. So that right ear drawing down towards the floor. And then on the inhale, let's come back through center. The knees are going to float over to the right and we're just going to look over the left shoulder. Press that left knee down so you feel a little stretch on that left side. And then again, inhale, come back through center. For those of you that don't know that moaning, that is Chewbacca, my Shih Tzu, who can't leave my side. Okay, let's go ahead and pull the knees into the chest, arms wrap around the shins, roll a little bit here on the sacrum. You can let the knees kind of fall in and out, maybe making some circles or figure eights. And then go ahead and draw the knees towards the forehead, lifting the head and chest off the mat. So we're pulling ourselves into this little ball, yeah? And then on your next inhale, extend your feet long and let your arms come over the head. So like a big good morning stretch here. Go ahead and open and close your fists. Maybe wiggle the ankles or point and flex the feet. Just take a moment here to stretch nice and long. Again, exhale, draw the knees into the chest, lift the head up into the knees, and then inhale. Take that length of the spine, arms up over the head. Good, and we're gonna hold here. We're gonna make that banana shape. So we're gonna walk our feet all the way over to the left corner of the mat. And we're gonna take our arms over to the left corner of the mat. And then we're gonna notice what's happening, right? That whole right side body wants to pop up. Now let the work begin to draw that right hip down. Maybe you can cross that right ankle over the left. Maybe you take hold of your wrist and kind of draw that right arm a little bit further. Big stretch for that right side body. Keep working that right hip down. Nice, and release. Bring everything back to center. We're gonna walk it to the other side. So let those feet come off the mat to the right. Arms to the right. Press that left hip down. So if you were looking at yourself from the ceiling, you would look like a banana, right? Breathe and stretch. Good. And then finally, let's come back to center. Bring those knees into the chest and start rocking. Our destination is tabletop. So however you want to get to table, we're going to come onto hands and knees. And continue just a little bit more here with some cat and cow. So on that exhale, go ahead and round the spine, pull the chin into the chest. Inhale, let those elbow creases move forward. Lift the chin, shoulder blades melting down the back. Good. Couple more. Match your breath to your movement. Take as much time as you want here. Maybe even move your hips a little bit side to side if that feels good. If you want to add a little bit into this little cat-cow, yeah? Good. And now we're going to tuck our toes and we're going to press our way into downward facing dog. So my down dog might look a little bit different because, again, I have a broken toe. So I'm doing the best I can. Pedal out the feet, one side, then the other, right? Press forward with your hands. Press back with your feet. Lift your tailbone up to the sky. Draw that belly button in and up. Breathing fully here. Let the head relax. Maybe open the mouth, maybe stick out the tongue. And then let those heels get heavy. So even if your heels don't touch the ground, that's okay, right? We're still trying to stretch and strengthen. This is an all over body stretch. And then on your inhale, flow forward, find a nice strong plank. So you may have to like wiggle your fingers, hands forward or your feet back. Find a plank, draw those shoulders back, feel strength here. Press those heels away from one another. Crown of the head is extending forward. Now press it back to downward dog. Inhale again, flow to your plank. Downward dog, last one. On the inhale, we're gonna flow to our plank and we're gonna make our way into an upward facing dog. So if you wanna do a modified version, you're gonna come onto your knees and you're just gonna draw your chest forward as your hips kind of come down towards the mat. Regular version, we're gonna press onto the tops of the feet. Keep the knees lifted, shoulders back, chest lifts. So we've got an arching in the spine, our gaze is lifted and our chin is parallel to the floor. Good. Now exhale, pull yourself back up into your downward facing dog. You've got to use that core to do that. Breathe deeply. Inhale, come forward into your plank again. Find an upward dog, either on your knees or not. And this time we're going to let our knees drop, press our hips back to our heels for a child's pose. So reach your fingers forward. Let your head rest between your arms. Maybe your head is touching the mat, maybe it's not. If you want to wiggle your hips a little side to side here, you can. And then on your inhale, peel up into, like, so you're standing on your knees. Now, you may want a blanket or your yoga, your yoga blanket or a towel. And you may want to just kind of walk your knees onto the towel. If your knees are like glitchy, right? Some people have bad knees and it's uncomfortable. We're going to do a mini camel or a mini ustrasana. So take your hands onto your sacrum. We're all going to press forward, right? So we're going to use our hands to press our hips and our pelvis forward. Now, already, the minute you do that, you can start to feel your chest lifting, right? Your sternum is lifting. Let your gaze lift. And I want you to stretch your throat. So stretch the front of the neck, gaze all the way up at the ceiling. Drop your shoulders. Draw your elbows in towards one another. I want you to shore up your glutes. So give your glutes a little bit of a squeeze and feel how your the tops of your legs and the thighs are beginning to have to turn on and work here a little bit. We're not even in a full ustrasana. We're just starting out and testing the waters. Good. Coming back, let's go ahead and sit the hips on the heels. And then bring the hands out in front. And again, we're back into table. Tuck your toes under. Press it back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Top of the feet or knees down. Open up into an upward facing dog. Knees down, child's pose. Inhale, come forward. Come onto that blanket if you need it. Come upright. Good. Hands behind your back. You can have fists, right? You could just put the heel of your hand into your sacrum, whatever feels good to you. And again, we start to find that bend back. Maybe you come back a little bit more this time, but we're still using our hands here. So we feel like we've got a little shelf, right? It's sort of helping us. We have a support. Good. Come back through center. Excellent. Let's go ahead and bring those hands to the floor. Tuck our toes, press back down dog. If you use the blanket, go ahead and just push it off to the side. Take another breath here. And we're gonna walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat, finding a standing forward fold. Now, first forward fold. If you wanna keep those knees bent, that's fine. Drop the head, shake it yes and no. Let it go. Let the arms go. Try to gaze up at your hip creases. Maybe from here, you can start straightening the legs. Draw that chest closer to the thighs. Maybe even a little lift on your inhale. And let that exhale draw you just a little bit more forward. Nice full deep breaths in and out. Good. Bend into the knees and walk or just roll up, coming into a standing position. We're gonna inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Yeah, so we're coming into our mountain pose, but our arms are lifted. Try to draw those shoulder blades down, right? So we're not like up here with our arms, they're relaxing down. Arms are nice and straight, palms turned in towards one another. Inhale, come up onto your toes. So we're coming into our tiptoes. This is really challenging for me because I got one foot, one toe that's like not working for me, but I'm gonna do it. All right, squeeze those inner thighs together. On the exhale, drop your heels and just twist your body to the right. So let that right hand come back, your gaze goes back, your left arm is forward. Inhale, lift up, come up onto the toes again. Keep it going, yeah. And then exhale, release the heels, twist to the left. Keep doing that. I want you to follow your breath to movement. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. So you've got to work that core. Exhale, twist, keep going. And the more you work that core, right, you're lifting, you're finding that sweet spot, right? So that's going to keep you centered as you move. Last time, twisting to the left, good. Inhale, let's reach up. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Let those arms come all the way out to the side, coming into your forward fold. Bend your knees. Step your left foot back, come down onto the knee, and we're going to come up into a low lunge. So as that knee comes down, draw that left hip forward. Your right knee is over the right ankle, and begin to just slowly come forward a little bit. So we're taking that hip and drawing it a little bit forward and down, right? So we're stretching out the quadriceps on that left side. Big breath here. Open and twist to the right. And come back up. Again, take that twist and come back up. Last time, we're going to twist. Lift the arms. This time, tuck your back toes under and press yourself up into a high lunge. Take your fingertips back onto the sacrum, the heel of your hand, right? Whatever works. Make fists, shoulders back, elbows back. Lean. I want you to lean into this. Let your gaze lift. Feel as if you're like you have a ball wrapped behind your back. Press back through the heel. Nice full deep breaths. Awesome. Coming back upright. Drop your back heel. Open up into warrior two. So if you want to take a little bit of a bend out of your front leg to start, make sure that that back hip is tucked under. So it's not sticking out here. We're driving it under. So we're rotating that thigh muscle out. Nice deep bend in that right knee. Gaze is over the right fingers. Our hips, our chest, our shoulders are right underneath each other, right in the middle of the body. We're not too far forward. We're not too far back, right? Baby bear, just right. Hold here and breathe. Guardians of our bodies, guardians of our minds. We are in charge and in control, and we make the rules. Reach that right arm up, left arm down, stretching it open in our reverse warrior. Now drop into your knee and come back up, warrior two. We're going to take the right elbow to the knee, and maybe that left arm is going to extend up towards sky. Now, some of you are like, maybe not. Maybe you want to take that arm onto the sacrum and just work your chest open, right? Because some of us find that when we do this position, our chest kind of goes this way. So you don't see my obstacles beware here, right? Because my chest is dumping down. So we want to keep it nice and open. Arm is lifted, gaze is forward or up at that extended arm. And usually I ask you to have very light arm. Today I want you to press your elbow down and forward. And notice what that happens to your right side body when you do that. Press down and forward and feel that lifting energy. Feel the breath. It feels a lot different, doesn't it? All right, press up. Find your warrior two. And then we're going to find our high lunge. So all we're going to do is we're going to rotate forward, come on to the back foot. Now is a little bit of a challenge because we're in a pretty wide stance here. So maybe you want to hop your foot in a little bit. We're finding a balance again, okay? So bring your hands to heart center, hinge forward, shift your weight into your right leg and bring your left knee up hip height, flexing into the foot. Right, we're just going to hold here for a minute. And then we're going to bend that right knee and cross the left knee on top for a one-legged chair. Keep lifting the sternum. Gaze is forward. Told you guys, there's a lot of balance today. Good. Come back up. Release your right foot next to your left. Close your eyes. Take deep breaths in and out. We're going to move to the other side. I'm just going to move to the other side of the mat, so I'm still facing you. Last deep breath. Let everything go. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive over the legs, standing forward fold. Bend the knees. We're going to step that right foot back, and we're going to come onto that back knee, coming into our low lunge on the other side. So squeeze those hips together, right? We want to squeeze those inner thighs together. Draw those hips slightly forward and down. Inhale here, take it to a twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. So on the twist, we're still thinking about keeping ourselves lifted and open. Nice. Inhale, let's lift, arms up. Tuck those back toes under, and as you're ready, find your high lunge. Good, holding here. Take those hands, sweep them behind your back. Press down, open the chest, look up. And coming upright, come onto that back foot and bend into that left leg. We're opening up into warrior two. Right, so take your time. We want to build our foundation from the bottom up. So those arms are parallel to the floor. You can even peek back. Is your bottom arm here or here, right? Find where it belongs. Our drishti is our gaze. And our gaze is soft, right past our hand. We're pressing that left knee towards the left. And then we reverse the warrior. Let that left arm come up. And as you hold here, bend more into that leg. Bend more into that left knee. And come back into warrior two. Good. Bring that left elbow onto the left thigh. Right hand to the sacrum. Sexy, roll that shoulder open. Or bring your arm up. So you can see my Ganesha, right? A beautiful little elephant. He's the overcomer of obstacles. In the Hindu tradition. Breathe, guys. Press forward with the front foot. Press back with the back foot. Push down with that elbow and lift that side body. And then come back into warrior two. Good. We're going to take that right arm, sweep it up. Find your high lunge again. Hands come to heart center. Hinge forward. Lift that right knee and come upright. So make sure your hips are squared off, right? You're lifting the knee, flexing into the foot. Good. Now bend and then take that heel right across. Keep that chest lifted and sit. So you should feel a nice stretch, yeah, on those hip flexors here. Keep lifting through the sternum, lift the chest. Good. And then press yourself up to stand. Bring that foot up one more time. Release the foot, close the eyes. Feel the feet, press down, grounding through the feet, lifting the arches. Feel that rebounding prana, that energy. Opening the eyes, inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive over the legs, bending from the hips. Bend the knees. This time, place your hands down and maybe see if you can hop back into plank or just step back. I can't hop tonight because of my toe. So finding a strong plank again. We're going to take a vinyasa. So if chaturanga is in your practice, you can take a chaturanga. If you're like, I don't know what chaturanga is, don't do that. Come down onto the knees. Untuck the toes, roll all the way down onto the belly. Hands come up underneath the shoulders. Traction your hands back. Draw the shoulders back. Inhale, lift up into a baby cobra. Exhale, release your forehead to the floor. Tuck your toes under, press up through table or plank. And again, find downward facing dog. Nice full deep breath. Find that ujjayi breath here. That's that audible, like wave-like breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Nice deep breaths. Looking forward, I want you to make your way back to the top of the mat. Standing forward fold. Bend the knees and inhale, come to stand again. Good. Feet together. Inhale, come all the way up. Woo. Exhale, release the toes, twist right. Inhale, we've been here before. That white one, that's Willie. Willie likes to come say hello once in a while. Last time to the left, good. Inhale, reach up, come up on those tippy toes as high as you can. Exhale, release the heels, swan dive over the legs, bend the knees. Step the left foot back again. Let's go ahead and drop your heel this time, and we're gonna rotate up into warrior two. So taking our time, really work into the back edge of your back foot. Gaze over the fingers of the right hand, breathe here. So the sits bones are dropping down, right? Like lights shining right at the floor. We're gonna straighten the front leg, reach forward with the right hand, coming into triangle. So you can drop your hand. This is where a block might be nice, or something that you can use like a block. You're gonna take it in front of your foot and just let your hand rest on it. And then your left hand can come up to the sky. Or again, if you're working at opening the chest, then take the hand somewhere on that left side and help yourself, like that sexy roll of the shoulder. Let your gaze lift. It's not about how far down you go, guys. Nirvana's not at the floor. There's probably dog hair and dirt. It's not worth it, right? So if this is your triangle, that's amazing. If you're like all the way down here and you're still you know, you can still see Ganesha, great. Breathe deeply. Nice, come back up. We're gonna find a little 5-pointed star. Bend into that leg. Again, you might want the block. We're gonna take that elbow onto the knee again. And just do that pressing forward action for a second. Press down with the elbow into the knee so you feel how that side body is moving away, right? We're making space in here. We're gonna try to come down a little bit lower. So I want you to walk your back foot back. This is our widest stance in our yoga asanas. So some of you, like, this is gonna be more than enough. Others of you may wanna explore taking that right hand onto the block, either outside the foot or, I don't know what happened. This has happened to me before. Okay. Or either inside the foot or outside the foot. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Hold there. Good. So we want to bind. So for those of you that can do a bind, right? We don't need the block. We're gonna find our right hand going underneath the body. Left hand is grabbing it, and we're gonna open up the chest. So it's almost like we're pressing our shoulder into our inner thigh. And if you're like, I can't do this, Leah, I don't want you to, right? I want you to be here, opening up the chest, moving the shoulder away from the ear, or here, yeah? Take one more breath. Whew, good. All right, so if you took the bind, we're just gonna slowly release, bring the elbow back to the knee, and then work our way up. Come into a high lunge, breathe. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Step your right foot back to meet the left in downward dog. Inhale, flow forward into plank. Exhale, vinyasa of your choice, chaturanga, or knees to the floor and melt down. Inhale to an upward dog or a baby cobra. Exhale, release the forehead. This time, tuck your toes and find child's pose before we move on to the other side. So bring the hips to the heels and just breathe. That's a lot of work. Just breathe. You can release everything that you just did. What's in the past? All right, we have one more side to do. We can do it. No problem. Few more breaths, in and out. In and out. Soften the face. All right, let's come up into a table. Tuck our toes under. Press up into downward facing dog. Breathing in. Breathing out. Look forward. Make your way to the top of the mat. You can step or you can jump. Challenge yourself. Find your forward fold. We're going to find chair. Bend your knees. Shift your weight back into the heels and come up. Check your posture. We don't want this big sway back. Tuck, right? Nice long spine. Gaze is lifted. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Squeeze the knees together. Inhale, lift. Exhale, swan dive over the legs. Bend the knees. We're going to step the left foot back. Turn the heel down and rise up, warrior two. So set yourself up. Take a minute. We've been here before. Good. Let's straighten that front leg. We're going to extend forward into triangle again. So you might notice one side feels different than the other, right? One side might be easier than the other. We don't want to do too much. We don't want to do too little. We want to work our body right where it is. All right. Bending into that knee, again, whether you have the block or not. We're going to see if we can't explore our by walking that back foot out a little bit more, right? So we're opening up our side angle. Get that chest open and decide, hand to elbow to knee, hand to block, maybe a bind, maybe somewhere in the middle, whatever. Just be there and breathe. Nice. If you took the blind, slowly unwrap yourself, bring your elbow to the knee, press yourself up into warrior two. Bring that arm up. Let's find a high lunge. Nice deep breath. Exhale. We're bringing the hands to the floor and we're going to step it back again to downward facing dog. Last opportunity for a vinyasa here. Inhale forward into plank. Exhale your way. We'll all meet back in down dog. Nice. Let's bring the knees to the floor and come upright. We're going to do Ustrasana, take it a little bit deeper. Now, couple of things you can do here in Ustrasana. If you've got your blocks and you want to explore, right? If you know you can't touch and you want to have those blocks one next to each other, you can bring your toes, right? Curl them under so you can reach your heels pretty easily. I like to think about the props as like elongating your arms or bringing the floor closer to you, right? Either way. If you don't have the blocks, that's okay, right? Remember, you can use the blanket. Chuchi's got mine at the moment, under your knees. Tuck your toes under. And again, that's going to pull your heels, right, up a little bit higher. Hands are going to start here at the small of your back, right? We've been here before. Begin to press your pelvis forward. Draw the shoulders back, lift the chin, lift the gaze. Guys, this is beautiful and perfect. And you can stay right here. If you want to take it into a full-on camel, Ustrasana, some people like to reach an arm up and then rotate it back and find the inside of the heel. Other people are like, I can just open up my arms, hands back, and gaze up. Now, whichever you choose, right? We're not gripping the ankle. You're pressing the palm to the inside of the foot, and that heel is pressing back at you, right? So it's an opposition. It's not a grabbing. And what that's doing is it's stretching the chest open, right? Making those shoulder blades really pull together on your back. This is a lot of work here. And then as you come up, slowly bring those hips to the heels. And then I want you to lean forward. So as if you were coming into child's pose, take a fist, put the other one on top, and then let your forehead rest there. So our head's not touching the mat. And just breathe. Slow, deep breath. Good. And then making our way back up. If you used a prop, we'll go ahead and move it off to the side. Hands come out in front, come into a table. We're going to tuck those toes under one more time, finding downward dog. And then looking forward, step or hop again to the top of the mat, standing forward fold. Bend the knees and inhale, rise all the way to stand. Good. You roll those shoulders, kind of melt down the back. We're going to come into tree. So bring your weight into your left foot, come onto the ball of the right. This can be your tree, right? Just tapping your toe up and down with your heel pressing into your shin, okay? That's enough. Or you can just bring the foot right underneath the knee. Or you can grab the foot and take it up, all the way up into the hip crease, right? Wherever you decide, root down through that standing leg. We want to have a suppleness in that standing leg. If it's too rigid, you're going to fall. Press your right knee back. Lift your chest. Feel your sternum lifting. You can stay here. If you'd like to explore the arms up and overhead, you can. If you'd like to do a little bit of bending, you can bring that right hand inside the leg, and you can begin to take a tilt over to the right. Slowly come up. Bring your hands back to center. We're going to take that right knee forward. Woo. And then release it down. Good. Bring your weight into the right foot. Come up onto the ball of the left. Same thing. Guys, this is a perfectly fine tree. The only place we never want to put our foot is on the knee joint, right? So either below the knee or above the knee only. And if you have your foot up, make sure that your knee is pressing backwards, right? We want to open up the hips. Nice, full deep breaths. Find your center. Let those arms do whatever they want. Let them sway. Let your body sway. Hands come back to heart center. We bring that left foot forward. Hold and release. Excellent job. Inhale, reach those arms up and overhead. Exhale, arms out to the side. Swan dive over the legs, nice and big. Bend the knees. Let's go ahead and make it back again. Last downward dog. We come onto the knees and then we just move our hips to the floor into a seat. So we're finding staff pose, Dandasana. Feet are out in front. Again, we're rolling those inner thighs together, finding our center. If you want to bring your hands back behind you and just sort of explore this idea of that shifting of the pelvis forward, you can. Now Chewy's got my blanket, but you could take your blanket and fold it in half. I have another one here. It's a little messy, but you could fold it in half, sit up on the edge, and then roll off of it so that the fleshy part of your buttocks is up, but your hip bones your sits bones are down. And what that's doing is it's giving that, it's just helping you with that flexion, right, from the hips, which is what we want when we do our forward folds. So if our hands are back here, right, this is our work. We're lifting the chest. It's like we're squeezing that toothpaste tube from the bottom. Some of you may be able to bring your hands forward with your back nice and straight. It's not about how far forward you go, right? Because if you do this, this is doing nothing. You just look like a little boiled shrimp. Nice straight spine. Yin classes, we do a lot where the spine is relaxed, right? But with these asanas, we are keeping the back nice and straight. Maybe you close the eyes, full deep breaths. And then inhale, we're gonna come all the way up, good. Bend that right knee, pull it into the body, and then pull the foot up to the inside of the groin. I like to shift my left foot forward slightly, like an inch or two. So it's just like opening up my legs slightly. Bring your hands to either side of the left foot. Make sure those left toes are nice and flexed. Inhale, nice and tall. And exhale, again, folding over that left foot in Janu Shirshasana. So again, the hands, guys, can be on the leg, on the floor. Some of you might be able to wrap, right? Taking your arms around the base of the foot. Wherever you are, that's where you are. And breathe. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? You are the guardian. You make the choices in your life. You have been charged with this container, right? That houses your true essence, yourself, your soul. You're charged with its mental, its physical, its emotional well-being. Inhale, come upright, take care of it. All right, let's go ahead and step on that right foot. We're going to cross the knee over, wrap that left arm around, take a nice gentle twist to the right. Good. Coming back through center. Go ahead and let that right foot come down, shake it out for a second. Bend the left knee. Let it come out. So I like to do this in stages, right? Because this is a joint and this is a joint. So we want to be gentle with our bodies. Press the heel into the inner thigh, right? Let that right leg stretch out just a little bit here. Turn your rib cage towards the right. Big breath in. Exhale, start to take it forward. What's happening with the muscles of your face and your throat? Are you tensing? If you are, can you soften? Is one side feeling different than the other? These are just questions. There's no judgment. There's no right answer. It's just things to notice. Inhale, let's walk it back up. Good, step on that left foot. Cross the knee over, or the foot over. Wrap the right arm around the knee. Give yourself a lift here of the chest as you twist to the left, hand behind your back. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we twist. And then making our way back through center. Good. Uncross the legs. Bring them up. We're going to go ahead and make our way back onto our spine. Let those arms come out in front and roll one vertebrae down, all the way down onto the back. We're going to let our legs grow long again. And then we're going to walk them again off the mat to the left. Reach the arms up and overhead. Walk them over to the left. Drop your right hip down. And notice, do you feel any different now than you did when you did this at the beginning of class? So you can take this stretch a little bit deeper now by crossing the right ankle over the left. Maybe you can reach your arms a little bit higher. Draw that right hip down. Good. Let those arms slowly come back to center. Uncross the legs. We're going to walk the feet in, right? Finding that nice spinal massage. We're sort of rocking up and down on the sacrum. And then bring the knees into the chest. Let those arms come around the shins. Roll around a little bit. Anything organic that feels good to you right here. Legs come back to the floor, nice and long, arms up over the head. We're going to walk to the right. Drop the left hip down. Maybe you cross that left ankle over the right this time. Keep drawing that left hip towards the mat. Breathing, stretching. Feel really good. And release the foot. Good. Bring everything back to center. Let the hands come alongside the body. Bend the knees so that the heels are close to the buttocks. We're going to find a bridge pose. So press down and begin to peel the spine up off the floor one vertebrae at a time. You're going to find you're going to come to a point where you can't go any further, but you can. because you're going to walk your shoulders underneath you. You're going to interlace your fingers. That chest is going to lift. You're going to be able to rise up a little bit more. Press forward in the toes. Keep your heels on the floor. Energetically roll those muscles in towards one another. So we're having energy moving forward. Breathe. Nice, big, deep breaths here. Let those hands come back. Let the spine release. Good. Just settle it. Settle the breath, settle the body. So we have a couple of options for an inversion. If you have a block and you want just to simply do Viparita Karani, you're going to take the block underneath your sacrum, hands pressing alongside the block, and lift your feet. If you don't have a block and you want to do that, take your fingers up like on either side of your tailbone. So you have a little shelf, and then lift your feet. A little bit more tonight, we're going to come into shoulder stand. So for shoulder stand, you're going to swing your feet over your head and let the toes touch down behind you. Hands are going to come to the low back, and you're going to walk the shoulder blades together. Yeah? You're going to stay here. You're going to lift your thighs away from your face. Energetically lift, press. Now with your feet straight and together, you're going to lift your legs up to a pencil. So we're not rounding like that banana now. We're a pencil, nice and straight. We're looking up at our toes. We're walking our hands up our back, and we're breathing. If you're in shoulder stand, you're going to come out through plow. So you're going to let those feet come back overhead. Release your hands to the floor like brakes and roll your spine down. If you're in Viparita Karani, you're going to take the block out from underneath you, bringing your feet to the floor. All right, we're all going to bring our feet to the floor. And just let the spine settle here for a moment. Let those legs go out long. If that feels good, or you can have the knees bent. And just breathe. And then bending the knees again. I want you to walk them out wide like we started. Hands are going to come up goalpost style or straight. Open up that chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Let those knees fall to the left. This time, as you look to the right, maybe you lift up your left foot. Place it on your right knee to help draw that right hip and that right knee down. Just a deeper stretch. Let that left foot float off the right. Bring your knees back up to center. If you feel like your spine got a little out of whack, straighten it out. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let those knees fall over to the right. Gaze to the left. Lift your right foot, place it on top of the left knee and draw it down. And you're ready, slowly release the bind. Come back through center and then make any last movements you like before Shavasana. So Shavasana is actually an asana, it's a pose. We're gonna lay on our back. If you have a blanket, you can use it to cover yourself or place it right on your belly for some grounding. I want the arms, palms face up alongside the body. Open the legs. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale over the course of the next few breaths, let the breath settle back into the unconscious. So we've spent a long time thinking about the breath coming outward, right? That visible breath. Now we're just going to forget about it. So it takes a few minutes to let that breath kind of go back to its natural state. Let it be. Notice any areas of the body where you're holding any tension and ask those places to soften. You are the observer. You are the director. And now you are the guardian. You are the guardian of your mind, of your body, and your soul. Can you picture in your mind's eye standing at the gates of your life with all your gear of protection, right? Whatever that looks like to you. Willing yourself to not let anything pass that isn't for your highest good. Just take the next few minutes. Slowly bring your attention back to the space. Noticing the rise and fall of the belly. Each inhale, each exhale. Start to make some small movements. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe you open the mouth, stretch the jaw. As you're ready, bend the knees. Let's bring the soles of the feet to the floor. And if you're watching this in the evening, I invite you to roll to the right. It's the morning, you'll roll to the left. Just take another moment on your side. Give ourselves permission here to re-enter slowly. And as you're ready, coming upright, finding a comfortable seat. Find the tailbone going long. As if a string were coming out from the top of the head. And bring the palms at heart center. And this prayer mudra, Anjali mudra. And I think we'll close tonight with just by ending with a greeting, namaste, and an om. So take a deep breath in, exhale, let it go, and a gentle inhale for om. Om. light in me sees, recognizes, and honors that same light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for showing up, practicing. Please check out the Karuna Yoga Charleston YouTube channel and check into some of the classes there for next week. Thank you.